This episode is brought to you by plastic bags. Plastic bags are horrible for the environment, and if you use them, I hope you fucking die tomorrow. Plastic bags are so bad that a guy that uses a plastic bag might as well be dead. Paper bag. This whole episode is also brought to you by paper bags. Paper bags are a clean, unique way to carry your stuff without harming the planet. Paper bags are made from trees and they oxidize outside from the tree leaves, and the paper is used in a healthy, organic way. Hey guys, you can't see my face right now. This is going to be an audio only episode, or it's actually going to be audio and video, but for the audio, I'm just putting in this little clip because this is a pre-recorded episode. This is an episode I did with Sam Roberts. I met Sam Roberts in March of last year. He's a WWE announcer. He's the co-host of the Jim and Sam show on Sirius XM. He has 85 fucking million different things that he's done. He's a man of many talents. He's a huge sneakerhead as well. He's a father. He's a husband. He has very, very adorable children. And he's just a fucking great guy. I idolize him, and he's been a mentor with me. He helped me start this podcast from day one. I sat down with him multiple times in New York and had lunches and dinners about what do we do and how do I fucking change this and what's a good name and how do I incorporate the sneakers into it. He helped me so much with this show. So I owe him a big thank you. And now in this episode, for the rest of it, it's actually a clip from one of his YouTube shows that I was featured on. And it's like, it was originally an hour and 40 minutes. And the beginning of it is him and his co-host named Reed. And then I come in for like the next 45 minutes. So I cut that out. And not because Reed's part isn't important, but because it's like, if I'm going to re-upload it, I'm just going to upload the part with me in it. You know, I don't fucking know. Am I a piece of shit for doing that? Maybe. But hey, Reed knows that I love him, and it's not like that. So yeah, this episode is going to be that episode, basically, because I wanted to upload it on mine as well. And that's it. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Please DM me some feedback, what you think of this episode. If you want to hear more from me and Sam together, it's a lot about sneakers, but it's really a lot about the business as well. So even if you're not a huge sneakerhead, you might hear like yellow toe retro ones and be like, what the fuck is that? But don't worry about it, because just think of it as we're just saying sneakers every time. Okay. And if you're not a huge sneakerhead, you might not want to listen. But I think it's important for the business part, and just to hear me talk with another person is probably better than me alone sometimes. Thank you guys for listening. I love you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man that maybe you've seen on Instagram. You can see him on he's been on my Instagram. He's been on Bert Kreischer's Instagram. He's been on Chris D'Elia's Instagram. He's been on Roy Wood's Instagram. He's been on Elvis Duran's Instagram. He's been on Kendra Lust, the porn star's Instagram.
Adult film star.
No, you're right. We have to be respectful to Kendra. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man himself. This is the shoe plug. We've talked about him before here on the show. This is Angelo.
Yeah,
Angelo Blando.
I want to say, first of all, I look up to you. You are a huge mentor in my life.
Oh, shucks.
And I look up to you, and I really appreciate you having me. This is the coolest thing. Like, I've done some really cool stuff. This is like definitely top 3 coolest things I've ever done.
Is it because I just built it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. No, it's just the studio is unreal.
Yeah,
I was just looking. I was trying to figure out like which wrestler is which.
But that's
I
what
got
people.
A good 50%.
I love that like half the stuff isn't even like there's no camera pointed at it. If you just look over in that direction, it's just raining wrestling toys down on you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
and some of them are falling over.
Hey, who cares? This is my life.
Yeah,
this is my life.
This is it. You know.
Well, welcome. Angelo is the. I can't even remember how we first met. I think the first shoe that you got me might have been the bread toe when it first came out.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that and the gold toe came out around the same time, and I remember you got both those for me. So I feel like that was the first shoe that you got me, but we had been talking a lot before that.
Yeah, definitely. You know Bert Kreischer. Right?
Yeah.
You knew him, and I think I
still do know him. He's not dead.
I sold to him first,
Somehow.
and then I sold to you.
That might be right.
I don't remember. I know
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
DM'd you and I was like,
It was early on,
oh no, did you DM me first?
maybe.
I think you DM'd me, and me and my brothers were watching WWE when it happened, and then they were like, "Holy fuck!" and I was like, "Holy fuck!" and then I was like, "Okay, well, let's do it." And then I messaged you, and I was like, "Hey, I could get you these or these." We started talking about whatever you wanted, the bread toes, and then. Yeah, you've gotten quite some pairs from me. We did the big trade that you talked about the first episode.
Well, you got me those for Christmas. My wife did that for you. You got me the Travis Barkers. I mean Nigel Barkers. Who's Travis Barker?
No, Nigel Sylvester.
Travis Barker's the dude who did the song
Travis-
I Want to Be a Millionaire. I want to be a millionaire.
No, that's Travis.
No, Travis Barker is a drummer.
Oh, he's a
Travis
drummer.
Barker's
yeah.
from Blink 182.
Nice.
Travis. It's a different Travis though. It's definitely a Travis who does.
Travis.
The millionaire song, I'm not off on that.
No, you're not, because that's Gym Class Heroes.
Can
Travis.
someone in the comments to let me know?
It's Travi. He dated Katy Perry for a while.
I'm lost.
I'm still a Travis Teff fan, so.
Not me.
The Nigel Sylvester one.
The Nigels. There's a Nigel Barker.
Travis Barker.
There's a Nigel.
The
Here's
same
what it is.
thing.
This is what happened. There's a Nigel Barker, I think,
Okay.
and I put the Barker in, and then added Travis and Travis Barker, and my dog was barking, and
Okay.
so the whole thing
Yeah,
got
no,
confused.
I know.
But
They're gonna get it.
yeah, and I hate,
get
as much as this is probably sacrilege, I'm one of the, I'm sure very few people that wasn't the biggest BMX fan in the world and still decided I needed to have the Nigels.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody else that has them is just the biggest BMX guy.
I just don't. I didn't like this shoe.
Do you like them now, or you still don't like them?
No, I still really don't like this shoe. I think that it's cool that it's a BMX shoe and they put in the BMX skid marks and all that. But I want collabs from people that fucking like. Okay, I'm not gonna say that they matter. I want collabs from people like. I want to see like a John Cena collaboration. I want
He
to see
did a Kmart line of shoes.
Yeah, I want to see Gary Vaynerchuk do a Jordan. Like
He did K-Swiss.
Yeah, but
I wear
don't
my
like
K-Swiss.
that. I know. I actually have a few of the pairs.
Yeah, but I mean,
Nike
Nike going for athletes makes sense, right? I mean, Nigel is an athlete. Jordan was an athlete.
I'm not against it. I just.
I mean, they're technically shoes to be worn during athletics. So the idea that you would have it's like when a skateboarder wears skate shoes. Like technically, that's what the function of the shoe is.
But they did. Well, skateboarders are still athletes. I was gonna say they did Eric Costin like Nike, the Nike SBs, but I don't know. You know what? You're right. Okay.
My only thinking would be that maybe they'd be fearful people were thinking they were pandering just by throwing names as opposed to like what Sam was saying about them. You know what I mean? John Cena shoe.
But wait, okay.
Just
John
adding
Cena's
celebrities.
still an athlete though.
No, I know, but
he's more of. Are you saying he's more of an entertainer? So it's less like.
Well, yeah. I mean.
Like,
I think he would have to. He would just have to start wrestling in Nikes, which he could. I mean, he wrestles in sneakers, but there are a lot of wrestlers who wrestle in sneakers.
Yeah, definitely. It's true.
I mean, Kofi, he wore. I think at SummerSlam he was wearing the Fear of Gods, for his title match.
The ones, the shoot-arounds.
I think it was the orange ones.
The orange Fear of Gods. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dude, those are so uncomfortable though.
Well, he wears kick pads over them. So like everything kind of stays together, but
the heel of that Fear of God one, it's a really thick like plastic cage that they have around it. And when I wore them, like when you're they're high tops, so they go above your ankle. But when you're walking, they feel so stiff.
Dude, you're a sneaker plug. You sell sneakers, right?
Yeah.
How many people have you sold sneakers to that are like, could you just give me whatever's the most comfortable? None. Nobody.
You'd be
Somebody
surprised.
did.
So okay, one thing that I really and I am thankful for every single customer out there that is listening to this. This is not a bash against anybody. I understand that not everybody gives a shit about sneakers like we do. We like live, breathe sneakers. We understand it all. But I have a lot. I have sometimes just like when Kendra posted me on her page, I had like 100 DMs, and I'm not kidding. Like half the time when I get these rushes of people, it'll be like. God, there's some really interesting ones. It'll be like a $40 pair of shoes that's like literally $40 Vans that you could walk into and buy, and they'll be like, "Hey, can you get these? How much?" And it's like, I mean, what do you want me to save you on? They're $40.
So do you have to
they just want to meet you?
Would you have to
Yeah,
I mean, do you have to stop yourself from being like, okay, this person clearly doesn't know what they're doing. I could just charge them $100 for these Vans, but then I'd be a scumbag.
I can't do that. I'm all about like keeping it real. A lot of the times when people like message me and ask those questions. There's another one that I get all the time. I've gotten Roshi runs. Somebody asked for Roshi runs, and someone asked for Prestos. These are all Nike shoes that are $100 that you could find in a outlet. You could find most likely in a, I mean, you could find Prestos and Nike and Roshi runs in a Foot Locker. But most of the time, I'll just like, if I'm not super busy, sometimes I'll be like, I don't sell like stuff like that. I only do limited. But if I got a little bit extra time and there's not 75 people asking for Airwalks, I'll just look it up really quick on eBay, because all those shoes are always on eBay. I'll look it up on eBay, copy the link, and send them and be like, I'm not going to make money on this. Like, go buy them here. And then they're like, thank you. So it's a good way for them to know, like, I'm not like being mean and just saying like, I only sell shoes that are up to $3,000. But
well, the thing about sneaker culture, and really any sort of like hobbyist culture, is that the internet has made it so it's easier to become a part of it because all the information is out there. But there is so much information out there that some people, they either just see a shoe and they like it, but it's too intimidating to figure out like, how do I get this? Because if you don't know how, shoes are hard to get.
Yeah, no, they are.
You know?
They are.
So you have to really know what you're doing. Or I'm sure you get people that come to you and they're just like, can you just make my feet cool? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to get.
A lot of people that ask for free pairs too. Some people just message me and say, hey, you give away shoes, I'll take a pair of Yeezy size 11.
Now, are we talking celebrities or are we talking just people?
No, just people. Like, I'll get part of the, okay, here's how, let me break it down for you guys.
Not the best business model, by the way.
No, yeah. So here's the breakdown. When I meet a celebrity and they post me on their page, let's say Elvis Duran posts me, right? I got 200 DMs, okay? So 30 of them are people that understand the sneaker game and want a pair of Wave Runners or Travis Scotts or something. They understand it. They'll message me. 30 out of 200 will message me and say, I want the UNC ones in a size 11. 100 of the 200 message me saying, I would like Airwalks, I would like Vans, I would like, and then the other 70 will be, hey, what size, or not even that. I wish they would say that. They'll just be like, hey, I really like those Jordan 5s. Can I get a pair? So it's really, I mean, and that's why I think like I'm proud to be a sneaker reseller, and I'm proud to like know so much about it, because a lot of these people, they just like, I'm helping them become a stronger sneakerhead, because when I'm like, hey man, that's not how it works at all, then they're like, okay, and then I school them a little bit.
You could just give them for free.
Yeah, they just think I'm some fucking sneaker fairy that came down and I can give whoever. Just DM me whatever you want and I'll give you a free pair.
I'll just give it to you. It's for you.
When do I get mine in that situation?
Well, you just lose yours.
Yeah,
you just don't get to have it at all.
Just the filthy rich kid that his dad just gave him his credit card.
I want to spend it all. I got to spend everything.
Who wants a pair?
So is it difficult?
God.
Is it difficult to do this? Because like, I mean, more and more sneaker reselling, I feel like there's more people buying to resell than there are even buying to keep. I mean, I know it just like when I go to the mall and get sneakers on release day that are, you know, not like that are not crazy tough to find in the sense that like you have to go the morning they come out.
Right.
But if you go the morning they come out, it's not going to be an issue. Like for instance, like the bread fours. Like, you know, as long as you go when they come out, you're going to be able to get a pair. It's not going to be an issue. 2 days from now, stores won't have them anymore, but you know, there's enough that everybody will get them. But like, I'll wake up on a Saturday, go to the mall, get a pair like that, and without fail, there's like these little gangs of 13-year-olds, which I kind of find charming. I mean, I'm sure you find them irritating because they're destroying the business, but I find them like charming because they're all taking it. They are acting like they're such big shots, and they're going like, "Yo, man, I don't know about this," or blah blah blah, and I'm like, "Look at you little scamps!" But they're going. And they're like literally trying to buy a pair of shoes that they can go and find their friend, you know, in their apartment complex and sell it to him at a $20 profit that day. And
I think it's the like, this is probably not the answer you're expecting. I think that is the like most heartwarming thing.
You like it like I do? Okay.
Because when I see like, I know that when I was in high school, even before, when I was like 8th grade or 7th grade, 8th grade, freshman year, there was a lot of kids that were, I mean, kids were smoking weed a lot. I was never really into that. Kids were selling weed when they were literally 14. Like, so when, like, my approach was, okay, I'm not gonna scam people. I'm not gonna sell weed. I don't want to like do anything bad. So my way of being different was, let me do it the clean route. I want to sell sneakers. I want to sell clothes and all of that. And doing it like since I've done it at such a young age. Now when I see 13-year-olds, I am literally like, I don't wait in line anymore. But if I was to wait in line, or if I were to wait in line, and there was like a 13-year-old, I literally would let him go in front of me, and I'd be like, I appreciate what you're doing. Like I would want to talk to him and
Then
let
he's
him
like,
know that like,
I need 11 size 5s. And you're
yeah,
like,
I'd be
okay,
like,
I don't know.
I
why did
appreciate it. Here's $50. Grab me a pair.
Yeah.
But it's good because, and on the flip side, those same kids that are doing that, I will either appreciate it and let them grab their pair, or like not get mad, or after they walk out of the store. This is a strategy that me and my friends used to do all the time. We go to Woodfield Mall. It's a huge mall by my house, and we come from Chicago. And
Chi-town.
so
Thank you, Reed. That's
So-
necessary.
we go to Woodfield Mall, and every single person, let's say it was on, we did it, what did we do it with? The frozen yellows. Every single person that hit the frozen yellows, you could tell because you see the brown box, the Foot Locker
Yeah.
bag or the Champs bag, and we would just go up to them. I'll give you $300. Like, and a lot of people. We walked away with like every time we would do that, we would have 10 pairs. When
Wow, that's a great idea.
when NMDs
because
were
how many
hot-
people would sit there going like, well, it's $100 more than I paid.
Right. And you have to look at it as, I mean, and when we did it years ago too. I'm trying to think of the older, we did it with not Toro 4s. We used to do it way more before, like pre-StockX days. So being a reseller that's been doing it for a long time, pre-StockX days, like that was the golden era. Not Kanye with the MAGA hat.
Right.
No. The golden era was pre-StockX days because it was literally how good of a salesman are you? That's how much money you'll make. And
how cheap you
I
can
had
get 'em, right?
customers, and how cheap you could get them,
Yeah.
of course, and like who's got the plugs. But it was like now. I had people that were getting me shoes in New York and in LA. Like I've had these like connections with boutiques and stuff, so I knew I was always going to be able to get pairs. But pre-StockX days, if I had this black toe one in LA, they might sell for $400. In New York, they might be going for $350. But if my customer is rich and my customer needs his pair, I can say $450 or $475. I'm not going to screw him and say $1,000, but I can say a little bit extra because I'm the only person you're getting it from,
Right.
and you don't even know the market. Now it's so predicated on what is StockX going for, what is GOAT going for. Everyone wants me to beat prices, which sometimes I could beat StockX by $20 or whatever, but now it's become like I need to be able to get you them faster than StockX. I need to be able to get you them and make sure they're legit. So the game is just a lot different.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was talking to Reed about a few episodes ago, was that your purpose, for me anyway, is that, like, number one, I can actually talk to you. So when I needed to have a size swap between
Right.
a 10.5 and 11, I know you can sell a 10.5 easily.
Right.
You know, I know that you can get your hands on an 11, so you're somebody that will be there for me if I need that to happen, if I need to do a trade for an extra pair of Travis Scotts or whatever. Or if I'm just going to outright buy a shoe, I'm like, I trust you. You're going to send them to my house. If you tell me it'll take 2 weeks, it'll take 2 weeks. If
Right.
it takes a week, you know what I mean? Like, you'll just say, yeah, I can get them, or I have them right now, or whatever it is, and they're going to be legit. And you're just talking to a person. With StockX, it's like, you know, number one, like you pay, and then there's like all these fees that go with it. So
Right.
you're paying more, and the seller's getting way less than they
Yeah.
actually think they're getting. And then there've been so many people who've gotten fakes from StockX,
And another thing when you gave
and
me
it
the
takes
plug,
so long, and you know, I don't know, the whole thing.
the plug that you gave me was awesome. So thank you for that. The first episode I was watching, I was like, holy shit. But another thing that like the unspoken like negative part of StockX is, let's say you're a reseller. For me, sometimes I do sell to StockX because it's like a lot of the times people in Chicago, they want to pay payouts because Chicago is just all resellers, you know, so everyone's going to play the same game that I'm playing. But if you sell to StockX, let's say, what's a shoe that like fluctuated a lot? I don't know. Let's say the satin black toes came out, and on release day, market drops to 500. So now everyone starts selling to StockX. So now the people selling them, when they see 3 days later that market goes up $100, now people that are selling them might just say, I don't want to sell them right now. Like, market's going up. So now the buyer has to wait 4 days or 5 days, and then you get an email saying seller did not ship.
Right.
So now you have to wait another week, and now I'm out. I was planning on like being the buyer. I was planning on buying these for $500. Now 2 weeks go by. I didn't get my pair at 500, and now 2 weeks later the market's at 650, and it's just like completely fucks the buyer.
Yeah.
And StockX's thing is like, oh well, we're gonna charge the seller a 10% fee, 10 to 20% fee. So if I change my mind about selling a pair and they're 500 and they go to 700. If I don't ship the shoes, I get penaltied or whatever. There's a penalty of $50, and that goes to StockX. It should go to the buyer, because the buyers should get that extra 10-15%,
or at least split it.
I know. It's like, dude,
what you're describing exactly has happened to me. I've gotten almost all my and I think I've gotten all my Yeezys from StockX, and it takes forever. But for me, I don't have a sneaker plug, so I was.
You got me now.
You do now, Reed.
Well, I appreciate that.
I got you, bro.
But for me, for StockX. For me, it really helped me get into the sneaker game.
Yeah.
And because I was really worried about pairs being legit or not, and so I mean, I know StockX. I think the reason they've sold fakes is just because the amount they put out. Right. I don't think they're actually bad at their job. So
yeah,
for me,
I would think that almost everything that comes out of StockX is real.
Yeah.
Is real.
I've
used StockX a lot, and I like them. I think they're still good, and for buyers, it's great because you do know like how much the shoe should be going for. You know what I mean? But
no, it's still great, and even for resellers, because
I'll sell on, like, if I just want to get rid of something or come up with a couple bucks or whatever, like I'll throw something on StockX.
Yeah.
But it's also because of all the fees and everything involved.
Yeah, I would
to make it worth your while. You have to go like, okay, if it's $20 over retail, you're not getting $20. You know, it's got to be like $100 over retail for it to be worth your while.
Yeah, you always got to take, if you're going to sell them, take at least like 10%. Some StockX accounts.
Here comes Lila.
Yep, here she is.
She's trying to get that hook up too.
I was trying to keep.
What I was going to say is that most StockX accounts, like if you really are selling a lot, you could get down to paying like 7%, or like, I think it's like 6% is the lowest. But yeah, I just don't like how it's unfair to the buyer sometimes in those certain situations where the guy gets screwed over. It's like, I don't like that. But the other part is, for resellers now, it's like the real resellers stayed in the game, and the like phonies, they left. Because like I have connections that I can get 20 pairs of BC3s for retail, or I can get, not Travis Scott's and stuff like that for retail, but I have my guys like a bulk order through, so I can do a pre-order, get 15 orders, and
but that's the other thing. Like when I go, like after 2 weeks, when I go, you know what, I really need another pair of these Travis Scotts because I really want to wear this pair. You got to double up. I know I can text you and be like, hey man, like I get it, but like I'm looking for another pair of Travis Scotts, and it's not so much, oh yeah, I'm gonna get them to you for $100. It's I can get them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
most people, the reason they're so expensive is because you can't get them.
Right.
And then we can start talking about trades or deals or whatever it is. But just the fact, I mean, the first step is that, oh, I can get them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, now we're there.
Plus, when it's a shoe like that, when it's like $1,200, like I'm dealing with like street market prices still. So if you're going to pay $1,200 on StockX, like I can beat those prices by a lot because like we don't have fees in Chicago. You know what I mean? So I could charge you $1,050 or $1,080.
So
because
how do
there's
you,
not that 10% or 15%?
Without revealing, like you're not going to reveal your sources.
Yeah.
But how do you know that you're not getting fakes from people?
So because my boutiques, like the boutiques that I go through.
So you go through boutiques.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's stores, a lot of them in Chicago. I don't think I can name it.
No, I wouldn't, because they're not supposed to be doing that. But a lot of them like hold stuff back for people like you.
So we have we have a team of about 5 people, and it's growing now. We have like group chats and stuff in Chicago, but I have a team of people that I work with that they have access to all of these shoes, and it's kind of backdoor. It's I mean, I don't think it's sketchy because we're not doing anything that other people can't do. We're doing things that we just did prior. You know what I mean?
The only reason that it's sketchy is because I'm sure that Nike wouldn't want it happening.
No.
You know what I mean? Like there are certain stores that in order to get this stock, they have to go through this protocol, and that's why we wouldn't name any stores here, because they're probably breaking protocol.
Yeah. So so I mean, basically if this store
Which by the way, I'm glad they're breaking protocol, because if they weren't breaking protocol, I couldn't text you and be like, hey, can you get a pair of these?
And I do have people that get me like I do have people that I can text that work at shops in here and in LA, which I won't say them either. But I can text them and say, hey, I need 3 of these pairs, or hey, I need 4 of these pairs. But when it was like really, when like I bulk ordered the black cement 3s, this store that we knew, because every store was getting them.
Yeah.
The store that we knew got 320 pairs.
And that's a boutique. That's not like a.
No, it was just a boutique.
Do the boutiques benefit at all? That's what I was curious about.
Yeah.
Like, in what way do they benefit by giving you the pairs as opposed to just holding on to them?
Well, so how it works. Yeah, I could say this, right? No, I don't care. Honestly, how it works is that we all know the market because we've all sold shoes forever. You know what I mean? So we know that like when BC3s re-release, or if it's something that's not so exclusive, when it's not a big collab, we kind of know, like the Jordan, those Royal Retro 12s are coming out, the black and blue ones. We already know that the market's going to be like $275 to $320 on those. So for them, they're paying wholesale price, and then if I'm ordering 10, 15 pairs, I'll put a little bit of something on top of every pair. They're making money from me, but it's guaranteed orders. So I will sell out. If they say, Ange, we need 30 slots sold of these, whatever, me and all my guys will make sure they're sold, but we'll do it for the Travis Scotts, and we'll also do it for the stuff that doesn't sell. The other thing is they'll sometimes give us some of the merch that they have, or some of things that are not Airwalks, but some of the less expensive Team Jordans and stuff like that. We'll help them move those. So
is it like what I was saying when like there were stores that would like give me stuff early if I pay full price, but they also needed me to buy a T-shirt?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You gotta do both. Yeah. And honestly, like as of now, I enjoy selling shoes and I enjoy like making like money from it, but it's become my goal is to get into more of the entertainment industry, and I'm really pushing my podcast and stuff like that. So I'm using sneakers to like be the common thing that me and you like, and then that gets us to do this show, or me and Kendra like, and then she's gonna do the podcast. So it's like I love sneakers because of what they changed my life in a big way. So when it's like make $50 or make 100 or whatever, I just don't. Like I'm not as into it, and the resale market is like it's being crushed right now. Like resellers have never sweat more on release days when it's a random Yeezy day,
right?
Or there's a restock. I remember I had the Zebras when they first came out. They were going for like $1,500. Nobody had them. There was like 9,000 or 12,000 pairs released in the beginning, and I moved all my pairs right away. I had like 7 pairs, and that was only my share of like me and 5 guys had like 40 pairs. But I had 7 pairs, and I moved them all for $1,100, and then like $900 towards the second week I was moving them. All my guys were like, "You're an idiot. You should have sat on those." And I was like, I'm good, you know.
Also guaranteed money.
Yeah, like I did fine, you know. I paid X amount. I made a couple hundred on each. The market was booming.
when do you know exactly what that?
Right. Well, what happened was all my guys, I knew people that had 30 pairs. I actually know a kid to this day that has 200 pairs of Zebras in his house. And
just hoping it comes back.
Well, yeah. So what happened then was,
it's not going to.
After I sold for $1,200, then one day we all wake up and there was just a re-release, and I texted him and I was like, "What now, fuckers?" Because like, they had all taken their $1,200 shoe that they wanted to go to $1,500 because of being greedy.
That is crazy. I remember when they were $1,200.
Yeah, and then the next day after they re-released, they were literally at like $600. And then they dipped to like even a bit lower.
Well, I mean, I told you I got them for $250.
Yeah, I mean, you know? I just wasn't. For any of the young resellers out there, if there's anybody watching this that you just started, or you've been reselling, or you want to start reselling, it's not like it's dead, but I think that it's not a great idea to really sit on sneakers right now unless there's a collaboration like the Unions or the Travis Scotts or even the Nigels, which they haven't really came up a lot yet. But when it comes to like just random Yeezy releases or random Jordan releases, if you hit for retail on anything, obviously it's up to you if you want to wait on
double
them.
Up,
but or if you want to double up or get doubled upped.
You got to put a little bit more bass into it. Double up.
I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, if you the past tense would be double upped.
Double upped.
Okay. Double upped. I double upped.
I just wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend sitting on your shoes. I'm more of the like buy sell really fast and make 50, 100, whatever it is, and keep making that money and then putting it in other pairs. A quick story for you, which the past 2 weeks. So one thing that you didn't I don't think you talked about yet was StockX getting hacked. Did you talk about that?
I don't think we did.
No, we didn't.
Because it happened between the shows.
Users. Yeah.
I mean, I was sitting there going like, oh my God, this is terrible. And then I was like, well, but all I can really have is my shoe size, right?
They have your address and your debit card if you've ever bought on there.
That's a bummer.
But I'm not.
Sucks.
Oh, shucks.
Darn.
So what happened is,
Wish they didn't have all that.
here's a theory. Okay, this is a theory that's going around in Chicago. That happened a few weeks ago, and then you saw like the LA to the past week, especially the LA to Chicago's, the New York to Paris, the trophy rooms. There was some like older releases, even these satins. Everything just fucking skyrocketed. The Costin, original Costin, with the what's it called? Is it a Costin that had the red Jumpman on the toe?
Oh, I know the shoe you're talking about.
It's an SB low. Anyways, after that hack happened, all these shoes like skyrocketed. I had 2 pairs of trophy rooms and I sold them for $1,200. And right now, if you look, a 10.5 and a 9, they're like $2,500. And it just happened like fast. And my theory is StockX got hacked. Everyone got scared. The younger resellers that didn't want to lose money, and some of the smart resellers were just like, fuck this, and sold all their stock. And now all these pairs that were listed on, especially for trophy rooms and LA to Chicago, size 8s and size 9s, which I had both, literally went from $600 to $1,000 in 5 days.
What are the New York to Paris is going for?
The size 8, I think, is at like $400 or something, which literally a week and a half ago.
I think I might have tripled on those.
We talked about that. You did.
I did, right?
A size 8 though, or a size 10.5?
Size 10.5.
Size 10.5 is not as high, obviously, but
it's still higher, right?
Yeah, no, they definitely should be higher. The LA to Chicago size 8, I had 2 size 8s, and I was sitting on them since the release date. And I could say what I paid. I paid like $400, so it was fair. And the size 8, they were going for like $600 at the time. I missed peak when they first released because they were going for like $900, and then they dropped back down. So I was like, I'll just wait till they go back up. I waited 2 months, like since release date almost, and I was just waiting. And I was seeing on StockX $650, $600, $580. They were just fluctuating. So I was like, okay, fuck this. So I just sold them to a buddy of mine. Sold them for $600 each. Fucking 3 days later, they were at $900. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna stick. And I was trying to.
But that goes back. You know what? Like, you do, I guess, have to pick and choose. Like some shoes, you do have to sit on.
Yeah.
You just, I guess, have to know. Like, you paid $400. You sold them for whatever it was, $580. You know, after fees and everything, you made $150 on them. On the Yeezys, though, you made more like $600 on them.
Yeah.
So if you're making that much, it's like not that big of a deal.
Yeah. You can be more risky when you know you already have like a guaranteed $400 or $500.
Yeah.
But I mean, even then, I like have some pairs that I'll collect, that I'll keep, that like I'm never gonna wear, or like old bread ones I have. But when it comes to sitting on shoes, it's strictly for a collection, and for me. And I'm more of, if I'm reselling, I'm getting rid of them faster. I'm doing pre-orders or something, which, by the way, I pre-ordered satin black toes, and I had like 8 orders. Not a lot of people ordered. I pre-ordered them for $375, and I pre-ordered a size 8.5 for $375. And
8.5 women?
Yeah, and they're like,
well, they only come in women's,
like $900.
right?
Yeah, yeah. But like it wasn't like a men's and a women's 7. And I pre-ordered a size 12. For my size 12s were a little bit more. They were $410, but those are at $750 right now. Like, so what people don't understand, which is what I explained on my podcast the other day, is I might not be able to, like, if it's the Travis Scotts right now, like the Travis Scott ones, they're already going for $1,600. So when someone hits me up and is like, "Yo, can you hook me up with these?" It's like I cannot manipulate a market that's already established, because then you would know if I was selling fakes. If the market's at $1,700,
if you could do $600 on a pair,
$300.
Travis Scott's like $600 for the low.
You shouldn't want to buy from that person.
No.
So what I can do though is I can always offer pre-order prices. If there's a pair that's coming out in 2 weeks, like the
what's your UNC Obsidian pre-order price?
I pre-ordered those at $260. So and I think that's about fair. I don't think they're going to go for that much. I think that dark blue,
eventually
navy blue,
they might though.
Yeah, eventually.
I think over time they'll be more in the 350 range.
Yeah, Jordan 1s right now have never looked better with new colorways of Jordan 1s, pine greens, court purples, even Nigels. Like, there's so many.
Well, what's amazing is that they've figured out, like, so that black toe colorway, it used to be anything you put out in a black toe colorway.
A black, white, and red.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, like when you replace the red with any other color, like that's going to move, right? Yeah. And then they put out the bread toes. And they were like, wait, this is the same colorway as the Shatter backboards, where we just color in the toe.
And then they started doing all
anything we put on that colorway is going to sell like crazy.
Right.
Like, I would imagine the yellow toes is going to be big business for you.
Yeah, the yellow toes, I have a lot of orders on them, but...
What's the pre-order on the yellow toes?
I think those are $280. I need to make sure.
What?
Yeah.
You're trying to get in on that, Reed?
No. I thought we discussed the yellow toes last show when I know we did. But I thought they would resell for a lot. I thought those were going to be really popular. At least Sam had told me. Sam knows Jordan's better than
No,
me.
they will, and I think they're going to go for way more than $280 eventually. But
yeah.
the same way he's saying, like, the pre-order...
Oh, you're talking about immediate market.
Like, if he said you can buy them from Angelo, pre-order them for $280.
Yeah. Depending on the size, it varies.
You could get, like, for $375 or whatever, you could have ordered a pair of satin black toes for $375. Now, they're $600 now, whatever, $800 now, whatever they are.
It's literally people that are, it's not. It doesn't mean that every single shoe I sell it goes for great amounts. I pre-ordered the Nigels, I think, for $360 or something like that, and they ended up going for around $360. There's I pre-ordered. I did the reverse shatter backboards for like $350, and now they're at you can't really know. It's like, that's why the pre-orders are so special, because sometimes you'll pre-order and you'll pay $50 extra, and I win. But then sometimes, like on the women's satin backboards or the women's satin black toes and the Sean Witherspoons, which I pre-ordered for $400, like, you guys win.
Yeah.
But people don't want to do it. This is why reselling is so messed up now, is because people don't want to do it if they don't win, and people don't want to take the chance.
Right. And
people want the guaranteed profit.
Like, for me, I'm going like, no, I'm going to really try to get them for retail.
Yeah.
And then the day comes, and then you don't get them for retail, and then you're like, hey, Angelo, about that pre-sale price. And you're like, it's not a pre-sale anymore. It's over. It's done.
With a lot of
It's
people.
a post-sale.
It's a post-sale. It's now resale.
And I post, and it happens even with like some of my higher profile customers, so I can't snap or get mad, but like, it's just... like, pre-order time is like usually 2 weeks before release. If you message me and say, hey, Ange, I need this pair, I'll go and tell my guys, like, I don't have a problem doing that. But people hit me up on release day. Yo, can you still get those Travis Scotts for $800? No, they're $1,200. Like, and then they think that I'm like the dick because, like, oh, well, you told me that. But yeah, it's like, I told you that April 3rd. It's April 28th.
Yeah. Jordan 1s were a little bit less expensive when they first released. But,
I know.
Yeah.
So that part is unfortunate for me. But then I have customers like you that are great. You understand my business. You understand.
Kind of get it. It's like, like, I remember, like, when the Gold Toes first came out, they didn't hit what I paid for them from you for a while. And I was like, that sucks. Like that. And then you just kind of waited out. And then some of the other shoes I got, it was like, I got an amazing deal on them. And now, if you look at what the Gold Toes go for, it's way more than I paid for.
Yeah, and it's just, and the other thing is the amount of people that bitch at me when they buy a pair of Statics for $50 over market. They'll be like, dude, I got, like, you ripped me off, you charged me overpriced, I found them online for $50 less. I'll literally just text them and be like, wait a month, and then we'll talk. Then they wait a month, they're like, dude, thanks, man. It's like, yeah, no shit. So...
yeah.
Well, speaking of getting people's shoes, what's the most unusual pair of shoes you've had requested? Like, not necessarily weird or whatever, but just like, oh, I didn't expect you wanting that pair, for instance, or they're a hard pair to get, stuff like that.
You'd be surprised. I mean, it was kind of like what I was talking about earlier, like those just like super cheap, like people DM me for Vans, people DM me for Prestos or Row Sheets, but there's definitely times where, and this is just people that have a lot of money. My high-profile customers, the celebrity customers.
Talking about Sal from Impractical Jokers?
He is one of them, but he's a smart buyer. He is a smart...
No, he knows shoes. I love looking at his
shit
Instagram.
on shoes.
Yeah.
And we do trades. We talk about value and
well,
stuff
that's what I was going to ask. Before you get to Reed's question, and we'll give... Is there anybody that has bought more volume than Sal? And the only and I'm not even telling tales out of school, because if you go on Sal's Instagram, he'll just like in one day
He'll do like eight shoes.
Right, 15 pairs of shoes, or there'll be a picture of you two, and you've got like 9 shopping bags, and it just stacks of boxes of sneakers.
A funny story about I'll answer yours after, but about Sal Vulcano. So he ended up picking up I think 11 pairs. And this was on the first day that we ever met. And he had already purchased like 2 before then. He picked up like 11 pairs, and I was like, yep, like I'll fly out to New York, I'll bring them to you, because I'm not going to ship them, because by the time I even pay shipping, I could just buy a fucking plane ticket.
How many bags did you check?
So, well, that's what I didn't think about at the time. I was like, oh my God, I'm selling a Sal Vulcano. This is unreal. Like, thank you so mumuch. And then I'm like, and I usually pack like the night before, you know what I mean? I've traveled so many times that like, I pack, I know what to do. So now it's the day before, and I'm looking at these 11 pairs of shoes and my one little Oakley bag, and I'm like, fuck. Like, I don't know what to do. So then
because you could have shipped them to New York and then still gone to New York.
But what if it doesn't, like,
That's
if
true.
I shipped that was like a $3,000 or $4,000 order, or maybe even a little bit more. And what if the one package of all of these shoes, one guy could just
I was
hit
so
the
paranoid
biggest...
about when I sent you that box of 4 pairs to trade for the Travis.
Your heart's in your stomach.
I was
for
like,
those
yeah,
3
I
days.
got extra insurance on it. I was like,
it's not like airports are really reliable with your stuff, though. I know whenever I travel, and I like to travel with a few of my favorite sneakers, I'll always bring them on with me.
Well, yeah. So what ended up
What about when it's
happening-
11 pairs in boxes?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now 11 pairs, that's crazy.
Yeah,
You had
so
to have put them in a suitcase.
What I ended up doing was I put 2 in one of my bags, and I just put like my underwear and my socks around them, and on top, and like my shirts, I laid them on top.
Now, are you also having to make sure that the boxes don't get all smashed up, right?
That's why, like, I was barricading them with my clothes and stuff so they didn't get dented. And then I literally had 8 pairs that were in shopping bags that I was like, guys, these are my carry-ons, okay? Consider this one a backpack, consider this one a shopping bag, because you can't have a shopping bag and a backpack. And they were like, no. And then I tipped the sky cap. I gave him like $30. I was like, just please let this one slide. And he was like, all right. So then I was just like sitting.
So you were
like,
on the
holding these 9 shoes.
You brought all of them on.
I brought I only had 2 that were in my checked on bag, and I was just like, sitting
Only
there.
takes $30. Who would have known?
Yeah, you could buy your sky caps. Shout out to all you sky caps out there. They save lives when it comes to overseas bringing shoes over, or not overseas, but over lakes. Bringing shoes in the same country.
Cross country.
Yeah. So, but to answer your question, Reed, there's like most of the time I like to leave it up to the person buying. So especially when it's a high profile person, I know that they don't care. Like if you're Crystalia and you're just rolling in the Brinks truck and you got $3 million every 2 days that you have to spend, Crystalia is loaded. And I know a guy like that, he's not hitting me up to save $20. You know, he's hitting me up for the same reason that you are, that it's convenient. I can text him. I don't have to be worried about my card. I
Great
can just
customer
chase
service.
Quick pay. Yeah, exactly. And we go out to eat. We hang out a little bit when I visit LA when he has time, which he doesn't anymore.
And you're not going to screw around.
Right. And where am I going with this? Oh, and when it's so they don't care about saving $20 or $50. They just want to know that they have the shoes. So when someone messages me that's like a UFC fighter or a whatever football player and they just want some dope shoes, I'll literally just send them like a collage. Is that what it's called? A collage?
No.
A picture collage?
Oh, it is a collage.
Yeah, Pick Collage. I use Pick Collage. That's the app.
Yeah.
And I'll just send them like whatever the top 20 cool retro ones that just came out are, and I'll just leave them up to them. I do add a discount for the exposure. So if you want to do a deal with me, I'll give you some discount, and then you post about it on Instagram or shout me out. I'm really in it for the exposure.
Dude, it drives me crazy. Because I also collect figures, right? And there are some people who get it, and figures are not I mean, some of them are as expensive as shoes, but it's a weird thing. But there are people who will literally just send me whatever, and it's just when I need some promo on Instagram, hit me up, blah blah blah, whatever it is, right? But then there are these sellers that they don't give any discount, which is okay, if you're not gonna give a discount, you're not gonna give a discount, and then they're and a shout out. Can you just hook me up with a shout out? And I'm there's a value to that, dude.
Nope.
People pay for advertising.
Yeah,
there is a
of course.
value to promotion. And so, no, of course,
Those guys
not.
those guys I don't think are going to be around for a long time. Like what Angela was saying is that with StockX almost weeds out the not pretenders, but maybe you're not as serious about it.
Yeah, and so the answer to your question was that sometimes I'll send people a collage that has Travis Scott's in it, and there'll be Gym Red Ones, and I'm just leaving it up to them. It's my way of playing the game because I know, like, I'm giving you what you want. It's not about money. And sometimes I'll send them like a $580 pair and a $160, and they just pick the $160 one. And that's when you
Those
really
are called
can tell.
good days.
Yeah. And then sometimes you think they're going to pick the cheaper one, and then they pick the most expensive, and you're like, fuck.
Oh, man.
But it's just, that's how it is. And for all the people that don't like the exposure, or that like they want the shout out and they want the money, those people will continue to lose, like 100%. I'm betting on I'm strictly betting on the next 5-10 years of my life, hoping that these, like, when I bring out a pair, I just brought, what did I bring? I brought Maida Gandhi. She works on the Elvis Duran show. I brought her a pair of Yeezys for her boyfriend that she bought. We did a discount shout out deal, and I like, even if there's a discount, even if I pay, let's say I pay retail and it's $220 or $250, and then I charge her the same thing, and market's $500, I'm missing out on $220 that I could have gotten, but I have to book a hotel, I have to book a flight, I have to go out to eat when I'm out here. Like, it's a strongly negative, like, it's not really positive a lot in my wallet. But when I'm trading it, I'm literally trading that money for exposure, fans, people go listen to my podcast, and like all of that. And
I mean, and I could tell you how much people pay to advertise on SiriusXM, how much people pay to advertise on like my podcast, my wrestling podcast, whatever it is, how much people would pay to advertise on my YouTube shows and stuff like that. And it's like it's got a value. It's worth doing.
Right. No, 100%.
That's a smart way to go about it, too, because so many people nowadays, I mean, that's the old trope, the cliche trope that everyone wants to be famous, but no one really wants to do anything.
Right.
I respect that, because I think that's the best way to go about it is to provide people with something, and in turn, you'll eventually be raised, and you'll kind of get what you want, but you got to give people something first.
Right. And it's just like, just a way of, like, I know that I want to get people, like, I know I want to grow my audience with fans and stuff like that. I enjoy selling shoes. I just really was able to, like, that was how I did it. And I don't think you could do it any other way. You have to lose money a lot of the time to gain. Like, I could have sat at home and shipped out this whole time and had an extra $45,000 in my pocket, which is great, but all I have is myself and $45,000. I don't have a community of hundreds of people that love to and growing. But it's like I built such a strong little base here of my smaller amount of followers and stuff that it's just I would rather have 10,000 followers that love what I do and be able to do shit like this than like sit in my room and count my $30,000.
So before we promote the podcast, because I was looking over there, do you have because I thought, were you going to bring me a pair of Unions for this appearance?
Oh, you know what? I have them.
Okay.
No, I do have them.
Can I get in on that then?
Yeah, Reed's
no,
a co-host.
I have some for you too.
So, yeah,
Reed, you're going to get Reed Unions too?
You know what happened?
Okay.
Here's what happened, and this really sucks.
Yeah.
I had the Unions for Reed.
Yeah.
And I had Unions for you.
Oh.
And I got robbed.
No.
Yeah, I got. You know what? This
New
guy,
York
I had
for
them
ya.
both. I actually had. I'm not trying to like get you guys your hopes up.
Yeah.
I had Travis Scott's in there too for 20
Oh
years.
my God! I was gonna triple up.
And
That would have been great.
I was running.
Trying to single up.
I was running with the bags in my hand, and I was like, "Oh my God, Sam Roberts!" And some guy pushed me over and then grabbed the shoes.
That's how it's always done too.
It's private. Yeah,
He
you
pushed
can't
me
say my
over,
name in
like,
public.
He was really heavy.
Yeah.
And he
my name.
He did one of. Oh,
That's what happened. Yeah.
I got mauled. I was like Sam Roberts, and this guy just
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens every time.
I got checked, man. It really.
that's a
so
bummer.
I did have pairs for you guys, and I got.
Well, you could just grab more, I
Next
guess.
time,
Next time. When you get back,
Yeah,
you
no.
could send them.
Yeah.
You could send them.
Yeah, no, I could send.
Actually,
Okay.
you know what you
Yeah,
should do?
okay.
Just send us that collage thing you were talking about, and then
Just
we'll do it.
We'll
Yeah.
pick. Yeah, we'll go.
Pick.
You know what happened though?
When it was a collage.
The app that my
no.
phone broke. Yeah.
That's a bummer.
No way to share
My
pictures now.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, no, my phone.
Crashed.
Yeah, my phone. Yeah, my phone
Alright.
Crashed.
Yeah,
That's a real
but
bummer.
no, I do have Airwalks.
Airwalks
I
are
got
cool.
I got a plug on
Do
Airwalks.
people like them?
You guys want for some free bears?
Well,
Well,
listen,
I mean,
I thank you for having me on the show. It's a pair of airwalks.
yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
You can hear Angelo every week on Kicks and Giggles podcast. You also do a YouTube version of the show.
Yeah,
So if you like to
video,
watch stuff
thank you.
better, Kicks and Giggles is where you go. Just search it out, and you can find Angelo's take on whatever it is that he's got to take on this week, as well as a little sprinkle of shoe talk in there. And if you need a shoe plug, he gives them away for free, like whoever wants sneakers. At Angelo Blando, right?
At they could be Red Octobers. It could be a $5,000 pair, and you could.
For you.
Yeah, thank you for.
No,
the
but
plug.
if people, Angelo Blando is the Instagram, right?
At Angelo_Blando on Instagram. My YouTube, just type in Angelo Blando and you'll find it. I do the podcast, I got to let them know. The podcast, the structure of it now, it's more of like a lifestyle comedy podcast. I talk a lot about like the behind the scenes of meeting these celebrities. I talk about some of the stress that goes through being on the plane, getting there late, being blown off by certain people, and I give all of
Who
that.
blew you off? Did you say?
Yeah, there was a rapper named Young Pinch, and he blew me off. And,
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I literally flew to LA, and he was like, "Yep, I'm on my way, dude. Okay." And then I was like, "Hey, I'm here." And
number
he's like,
blocked.
"I can't come. My bad." And I was like, and they were like, and I was like, "Okay, well, thanks,
That's that
thanks,
then.
man.
Yeah.
I love your music."
Cool.
So, yeah, and the podcast is structured so they're usually an hour long. The first 40 minutes of the show will be all about comedy, talking about my day, lifestyle, and then the last like 10 to 20 minutes are always like sneaker updates and stuff like that. So
Well, cool. Thanks for being here, and thank you all for watching.
you, brother.
Not Shoes. Hopefully, we'll get into that conversation about the Chicago's returning next show, and I'll have a pair of those UNCs to show off in the pickup section of the show.
Yep.
We will see you next time.
Thank
Don't
you
forget every Friday, Sam Roberts Now. Every Thursday, Not Sam Wrestling. Every Wednesday, The Tomorrow Show. Jim Norton and Sam Roberts on Sirius XM. There's plenty to watch. See you guys later.